Welcome everybody to High and Low, a podcast about talking picture shows.
We do films that are corny, some that are horny, some that win Academy Award.
Doing all kind of movies from all kinds of genres, serving hot takes like plates of lasagna.
Before we get going, a warning to you, you might hear some talk that's a little blue.
We sometimes cuss and we sometimes curse. We like to do it off the cuff and don't rehearse.
Now, if this sounds like your kind of show,
Tune in,
Drop out,
this is High and Low.
Welcome back, High and Low listeners, once again to part 2 of our Japanuary special. In episode 1, we listened to Vengeance is Mine as a high from Shohei Imamura. And now we're moving on to the Horrors of Malformed Men, a bird of a different stripe. It's horrific. It's from Teruo Ishii, the king of cult in Japan. He's known for this kind of stuff. I'm Mitchell, joined as always by my co-hosts
Luke
and
Vonn.
And wow, we are so happy to be here doing Horrors of Malformed Men.
We're fully aware that I think this episode will drop in February. Our Japanuary episode will drop in February, but we're trying. We're getting better.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it just works anyway because it's Japanese movies. You can watch them any time of year, and I think that's the important message.
February is Japanese January.
Interesting. I didn't know.
There you
I
go.
didn't know. Yeah, it's a relic from Imperial
I learned something
Japan.
new every day, and I'm going to
We're
bring that up
behind them, right?
It makes sense. Yeah,
every step of the way, man.
and
Yeah.
Australia is lower than them, so they're further ahead on the calendar. They're lower.
Listen, I don't understand calendars. I don't understand the way the world turns and how that affects anything.
I just know it's flat.
I just like, yeah.
No, we're just simple.
I just know that we have a
Westerners.
big dome over top of us and an ice wall surrounding all of the oceans.
It's common sense, people.
The moon landing was conducted by frogs.
And the Earth is flat.
So, Horrors of Malformed Men. This is from 1969.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Didn't hear about this movie in the Bryan Adams song.
This is a hell of a picture, Mitch.
Summer of '69. Yeah, this is a little bit of like a little bit of Island of Dr. Moreau, a little bit of a detective fiction. This was a
Totally a little bit Shutter Island.
A little bit Shutter Island, a little bit, what's that one with Bradley Cooper? The Guillermo del Toro.
Nightmare Alley.
Yeah, a little bit Nightmare Alley.
yeah. And this is a mashup movie because this is based on the writings of Edogawa Rampo, who was like this Japanese writer. He wrote short fiction. He was really influenced by guys like Edgar Allan Poe and like detective fiction in the West. He was very influenced by Western writers. So
That's pretty... Totally harkens to Poe, too. The way that people will just monologue in caves.
yeah, and it's
Yeah.
kind of a dark, weird subject matter.
I know, it sounds crude for us to try and draw parallels to Western things, but it is twofold on that, because this is taking inspiration from Western sources in some ways.
Directly, this guy.
Yeah, but also just for the listeners who may not see this or have no frame of reference for what the fuck we're watching.
Yeah.
We got to try and do our best to describe it in terms they might understand.
Which, who could blame anyone? I mean, this is, yeah.
And our listeners are dumb.
Yeah, 'cause they're not smart like me.
I mean, they listen to us. We thank you.
Yes. And we're dumb. So, yeah.
This movie dumbfounded me. I didn't really know what to make of it, but I sure liked it.
Every scene was a surprise.
It's a mashup of two of these guys' stories, which is why it feels a little bit like two disparate stories just being mashed together. It's like, what's going on here? This guy wrote detective fiction, so his character Kogoro was a recurring detective who this was like his Sherlock Holmes. So the Kogoro detective makes an appearance in this movie, and this is like,
kind of out of nowhere.
yeah, it doesn't. It's apropos of nothing, and it's he really fills us in, but. I guess we'll get to that.
He fills us in on things that I didn't even know needed filling in on.
Yeah, who knew? It breaks it all down.
Sorry if you're hearing clinking. I'm just dealing with a nice little hot sake setup
We're
here.
enjoying some sake in the
Yes.
High and Low
To
studios today.
celebrate Japanuary,
Yeah, just to get us in the mood.
we ate some sushi. We had some
Yeah.
sashimi, and now we're drinking sake.
I had a big bowl of spaghetti.
Yeah, nothing more Japanese.
They eat that in Japan, too.
Oh, I would eat it anywhere.
I'm sure the Chinese invented spaghetti. I think Tony Soprano got mad about that in an episode of Sopranos.
Yeah,
Someone
the
said
Chinese
that.
invented it, but the Japanese and the Italians perfected it. Actually, I don't know. The Chinese probably still do it the best. I don't know. You know what's good? Fucking noodles. Noodles are good, man.
Yeah.
Hard to go wrong with
That's why pretty much everybody has noodles.
Opening credits. Kind of a cool opening credits. You get all these, like, creepy spiders crawling around.
Crispy, creepy spiders.
Man, they're like yellow striped looking things, and just a little fun opening credits.
Yeah, lots of insects, spiders,
Story.
extreme close-ups.
Story starts in media res. The action's happening. Our protagonist is in an asylum.
The horniest asylum I've ever seen.
Yeah, so, like, obviously, as far as lowbrow goes, this movie borders on an exploitation movie.
Oh,
It's
there's
like
a-
erotic.
There's a point where a female character, a topless female character, is talking, and in the middle of her just telling a story, the camera just pans down onto her breasts for a good 30 seconds and then just cuts away.
That's important to the plot. You know, some of the other movies,
It's a little male gazy.
like Teruo Ishii,
Like like my dad male gazing, just like, oh, look at those sweater puppies.
like a couple of his other movies on Arrow there. One is called Orgies of Edo. One is called The Shogun's Joy of Torture. And he was known for working in the erotic, grotesque genre, the Arrow Guru genre, where he blends these, like, eroticism and gross imagery to kind of give you this squeamish, uncomfortable feeling, and that's what he's known for. So he also did a lot of fun Yakuza movies. He did tons of movies, but, like, his stuff that really sticks out is weird, undeniably weird.
That's great.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, I love that. Erotic, grotesque.
Yeah, what more perfect fusion?
Yeah.
Spiders crawling on a woman's breasts, a man with webbed feet giving you a French kiss, whatever it might be.
Yeah. So fade in on a half-nude woman with a ghostly pallor. She's this female patient, and she's cackling to herself while holding a knife in an aggressive posture.
She's chasing Hirosuke through the asylum. He's the only man in this big, like, cattle barn of a cell of
It's
women.
so weird.
Cell.
It's a holding cell, and it's
Yeah.
all women in there.
There's
Yeah.
like 50 fucking people in there.
And this girl, she's laughing like it's the beginning of Wipeout. I actually kept expecting, to hear the drum like da-da-da-da-da-da. Wipeout.
Yeah, it's all nude-breasted women, naked women, laughing, cackling, jumping.
There's some
doing-
old made-up women, too.
Yeah,
wearing
and
like
they're-
kabuki makeup and
They
shit.
all look kind of creepy. They're all a little pale and weird looking.
Yeah.
But make no mistake, half of them are topless
Yeah, gotta be.
or with their shirts open.
It's an asylum. She's chasing him, he's dodging, and eventually she plunges the knife right into him. But it's a trick knife, I guess. It does nothing.
Yeah, it's a
Just-
retractable knife, like the type you would find at Halloween City or Spirit of Halloween or a store like that.
Yeah,
Where,
just having fun. I guess that's like, you give that to the inmate to occupy themselves.
well, it sounded like she specifically has an
It's a
urge.
fucked up thing to give to inmates.
Give her the fake.
Nothing bad could happen.
Her thing is they let her into the holding cell like once a day or something like that, so she can go and get rid of her impulse, relieve her impulse to stab somebody.
She's
So
a little stabby.
the orderly comes in, she's like, there. You got it all out of your system. Let's take you back to your cell now, and kind of ushers her out of this massive holding cell where there's like 30 women, 50 women. I don't know. It's
Yeah. It's not
chock-a-block.
I don't know if these patients are getting proper treatment for their mental illness in this facility.
Yeah, they're chanting, jumping around like dipshits.
Jumping around like a bunch of dipshits. That's your problem.
Sound like my dad.
Give
Why
him
you guys
some-
jumping around like dipshits?
Give them some clomazepam. They're jumping around like dipshits again.
I've had that line in my head. That's
Is
what
that medical?
I don't know.
that's what Tim Wolf
No,
said
the
about
dipshits.
Yeah.
Elon Musk
Gotta
when he was jumping around on stage.
Yeah.
When Elon Musk is jumping around like a dipshit, and
that
ever
what he
since then,
said?
that's been in my head. Every time someone's jumping around, I'm like, look at that guy jumping around like a dipshit.
That's LeBron James.
I don't watch that.
Who's this dipshit?
All those NBA players, they have dipshit jump-around-itis.
Hey, dipshit.
God, calling any NBA player a dipshit to their face.
Yeah, no, thank you. Yeah,
Try it.
I'm pretty tall, but
You just got to run between their legs. No, it would be like in that Simpsons where Nelson insults the tall guy. They'd catch up to me in like 2 strides and pick me up by my melon head.
They're all legs.
So Hirosuke, never mind. Okay, we're past that.
Let's not talk about this movie.
That's it.
So the guard angrily approaches the cell, and he's like, "Hey, behave yourselves. I look away for a second, and you bring in men. You strung out sows."
He's fun. I love him. He's swinging around the baton. He's just like freewheeling, hitting people. He like one of the
He's
girls
fun.
jumps on his back, and he's like, "Hey, damn you! I said silence. Get on!" Tosses her off, and he kind of chastises Hirosuke. He's like, "What are you doing in the women's cell, buddy?" Like, I don't know. It didn't seem like he had a choice to be in there, but he's like, "Next time I catch you in the women's cell, you're finished." Kind of escorts him out.
Yeah. So the guard escorts him through the corridors of the asylum, and we see like a madman adorned in military regalia. He's shouting from his cell, "What's that attitude? Salute! I am Army General Asihara."
That's like a madman greatest hits, a guy who delusions of grandeur. That's a classic. Every asylum's got to have a delusions of grandeur.
Or it could
guy.
be MK Ultra, and they gave one of their high-ranking military officials some.
This guy's actually Ted Kaczynski. He was in the MK Ultra.
It's the jet streams. Was that an actual general? Is that like somebody saying, "I'm George Washington"?
That's what I was thinking. Like a guy being like, "I'm Jesus Christ" or something. "I'm General Ashihara." There's it's an assortment of crazy people. They keep walking down the corridors.
General Ashihara may refer to Kinjiro Ashihara, a Japanese man who is known as a famous schizophrenia patient.
Oh, wow, interesting. Okay. Hey, we just uncovered an Easter egg.
There's not much. The IMDb trivia is pretty lax on both these movies.
Yeah, this is a bit of a hidden gem, but I do think it's getting a little, it's on Arrow.
If it's on Arrow, that'll help for sure.
Got a feature. It's getting some attention.
There's another mad woman. There's an assortment of mad people as they're walking through the asylum. She's just like talking to an invisible lover who's not there. She's like, "Darling, hold me, let me love you," and all just like babbling background insane people as just background furniture for this asylum.
Yeah, we love it.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a well fleshed out environment.
Makes you long for a time when we had those people in asylums and they
Yeah.
weren't just walking down the street in front of my house
Wheeling.
24/7 screaming fucking profanities. Nobody.
I am General Ashihara. Let me in.
Sure, you are.
So the guard returns Hirosuke to his cell and he muses to himself, I'm not insane. I was studying to be a doctor. Have I really got insane?
Is it crazy to put a live horse on top of a 50-foot statue made of human skin? Is that crazy?
Who could predict that plot twist?
So this guy, he kind of has a bit of a memory, like some amnesia going on, right?
Yeah.
He's not
Yeah.
entirely sure what's going on, where he came from.
Basically, this movie starts when his memory starts, and the whole movie is kind of him discovering stuff, and the audience discovering along with him, like every
God,
beat of the plot. As
bear
it goes
with
along.
us,
Yeah.
listeners, because this movie takes twists every scene.
Oh yeah, and you will not. It's not possible to predict them. So
We've
don't
already
try.
had 2 twists. We're in the first 3 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
That knife wasn't real.
Fake knife. Oh,
Man in the asylum. What's he doing there? Oh, we don't. These are all twists.
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of them don't even get resolved until the very end.
When Professor Dr. Exposition.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He comes in. Detective
he's a
exposition. in this
Detective
case.
Exposition
No, he's
comes
a
in and really clears everything up.
Yeah, he's a PhD in expository science.
Yeah. Let me break it all down.
By the way, I took the bullets out of your gun. What?
Whoa. This guy thought of
That would have been
everything.
useful information a minute ago. But we'll get there.
He was menacing us.
No, I just give you all the rundown of everything at the end of the movie.
You weren't expecting me, were you?
Very good.
Yeah, Hirosuke hears this haunting lullaby in his mind. This is something that pops out. It's a little clue throughout the movie to lead him to his origins. And it triggers a memory. It triggers the sounds of waves crashing, and he starts sketching an oceanside cliff from memory. And he's like,
he does an amazing sketch.
Yeah, it's not too shabby. It's like, I'm surprised they give these inmates pencils or.
Yeah, at first it looked like nothing, and then I was like, oh, it's a photorealistic.
The guy's like Bob Ross, where he's just like, I'm just going to do a couple little lines here. And it's a beautiful coastline.
I'm jealous.
So in a flashback, he witnesses Jogoro. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Jogoro Komodo.
By the way, listeners, on our last episode, too, we kept butchering names and saying them wrong or backwards.
That's going to happen.
We're trying our best.
I'd like to see a Japanese person say Mitchell McIsaac.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'd like to see that.
Right? Yes, and I'd like to. What else? Well, are we going to yes and this? And I'd like to see them.
I'd like to see Japanese people.
I'd like to see them rap the entire first verse of Ice Ice Baby.
Good luck.
I just don't understand why my social media thinks that I'm obsessed with Japan. I never search for it or do anything, but I'm always getting bombarded with videos like top 10 noodle shops in Kyoto. Ooh. And here's where you go in Osaka. And
I don't get that at all.
I don't know why. I don't look for it or anything like that. I barely look up places to travel. I guess I'm obsessed with Japan.
Me different shit.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Did you hear about on TikTok how all these women, like within 7 seconds, realize that they were bisexual, like, but based on the algorithm, they go on TikTok and then they just start feeding stuff. It's like, oh, actually, it's given me a new perspective on my sexual orientation, and I've realized this about myself. It's weird what the algorithm will feed you, like what your subconscious will reveal.
They just watched like 70 TikTok videos of guys, and they're like,
as it turns
I should
out.
probably try women.
Yeah. Why is he lighting his farts on fire?
Or like all those right-wing lunatics who would be like, oh, just all I see is transgender and like buff guys working out, and this is what they're showing our kids. It's like, oh, I don't see that.
No. Yeah, revealing.
It's also revealing. I'd love to know what everybody's algorithms are showing them. Well, I open Facebook and it just shows me like, these are all the different types of bread. These are all the different types of eggs. And then I also see stuff like rap music related.
I see a lot of interviews, just musicians, actors doing interviews, a lot of little hot ones blips.
Yeah.
A lot of diet and fitness stuff. Just so
it
is showing me like a lot of buff guys.
I get no fitness stuff.
It's weird, like, so many of my Facebook videos are, like, some shirtless guy, like, he's like, here's how you cook 2 pounds of broccoli and, like, get 100 grams of protein for lunch every week. I'm like, I don't want this, but I do want to, like, see how to meal prep.
That's too much broccoli, though. You'd be farting up a storm.
Just eat 40 eggs.
Every single site has an algorithm now, and none of them understand me.
No, none of them are good.
None of them really know me.
I Googled, where to find something in Legend of Zelda, and now I just get, like, dumb listicles about Legend of Zelda on my Google homepage every single day.
Until the day you die.
It's like, these are the top 10 bravest links in the Zelda franchise. It's like,
number 8 will surprise you.
I guess I'm going to click that.
The thing that gets me every time where it's like, here's a list of 40 horror movies from the 80s. I bet you don't know any of them. And I'm like, fucking try me.
That's bait.
You fuckers.
That is bait.
I've seen 18.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that was 30 minutes of my life I won't give back.
Yeah, and you've got to click through every slide.
Top 10 most overrated James Bond movies. Like shit, like it just gets me
I'll
every
be the
time.
judge.
I hate it. I hate it so much. Okay, back to the fucking movie.
Yeah.
I hope you can cut 5 minutes out of that 10-minute roundabout there.
We'll see. We'll see what the final runtime is.
We're in minute 3 of this movie.
Hirosuke, he drew his fancy cave picture, and it gave him a flashback to Jogoro Komoda. And Jogoro is this, like, weirdo. He's played by Tatsumi Hijikata, who is, in Japan, he's famous for kind of developing this new style of dance called Buto. He's sort of a performance artist, and you can see that in his performance here. He's doing some, like, weird shit in this movie.
He looks like the kind of guy who's trying to get you to listen to his new EP at Burning Man or something like that.
Like, this is a radical hippie.
He's all covered. He's caked in mud. He's got, like, weird scales. I think that's what it's supposed to be. And he's just all long
dancing.
hair.
I'd say male Japanese Kate Bush.
Oh.
Yeah. Very artful.
Whimsical.
A little indie, something a little sidewinder.
She does those interpretive dances and crazy eye gestures, shit.
He worked on it. He's been on a couple of these Teruo Ishii films, and he's always doing some kind of weird Buto performance or something. He's incorporating his strange style of dancing, and he's doing a moves here where he's like dancing in front of some waves, and it looks like he's emulating the waves. And Hirosuke's like, "What was it? Was it a human or an animal? What is it? I don't know."
He's a fascinating performer.
Yeah,
I know we're joking and like making it sound like it's silly.
He's a weirdo. He makes this
really
movie.
cool.
It is a little silly, but yeah, he's pretty arresting to watch.
Yeah, really unique artist.
He gets another little flashback. He sees this flash of a beautiful woman's face and an ugly man's face and a beautiful woman. It's flashing back and forth, and he's like, that ugly face, the two-faced maiden, that lullaby. Is it a hallucination? Have I really gone insane?
Yeah. So now he notices a bald man in a cell across from him, staring at him intently.
Just mean mugging him hard.
This is really a Man of Destiny movie. This is another Man of Destiny. It's just
That's what happens when two of them cross paths.
Never cross the stream.
It's that man again. So he's staring at me. Who on earth is he? Who the hell are you? Answer me! And then the noise causes the guard and a doctor to enter Hirosuke's cell.
This guard hates it when the patients get uppity.
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
He's agitating the crazies again. He goes in there with the doc. They give him a syringe. They wrestle him to the ground and they pacify him. And he falls asleep when they inject him with this drug.
Mm-hmm. And in the night, the bald man quietly creeps into his cell and attempts to strangle him. Hirosuke manages to turn the tables on him and kills him with an MMA-style strangulation maneuver.
Yeah. I don't know all the maneuvers. Maybe.
Joke's on you. I studied under Georges St. Pierre.
Yeah, I listen to
Georges
Rogan,
St. Pierre's
motherfucker.
exercise equipment.
Didn't expect that, eh? Yeah.
Joke's on you. I listen to the Joe Rogan Experience. I know rear naked chokeholds.
He killed him.
Yeah.
Why did he kill him?
But this bald-headed man, why did he come after me?
Yeah, and then he hears the lullaby calling from earlier, and he follows it through his open cell door. And the asylum's quiet. The inmates are all passive, and he
They're
just
down for
follows the lullaby right out of the main gate, facing no obstacles.
Just strolls right out of the asylum. Nothing to see here, folks.
I don't believe in locks there.
He's following the lullaby out into the city streets, and it leads him to Hatsuyo, a winsome young lass who is out for a stroll. He kind of he acts all weirdo with her. He's being a little aggro. He's like, "Where did you learn that song? I know it." And she's like, "You're a rude man, aren't you?"
Yeah.
Runs away from him.
Fair enough.
He's chasing her through the streets. This is the Dean Martin method of flirting. How Dean Martin just like follows a girl,
Grabs her.
yeah, grabs her.
Yeah, you gotta tell me where you learned the song.
Sing it with me.
Why don't you come sing a lullaby with me?
I know your address now.
I know where you live.
He follows her.
Don't try to run, baby. I got you by the arm.
I really must go.
I'll be back after I take a bath.
Baby, it's cold outside.
My answer is no.
Baby, it's cold
Have more
outside.
drinks. Hatsuyo leads him on a merry chase to a playground, and she appears. She jumps from like the monkey bars. She appears behind him, and he's a little startled. She's like, "I'm the child of a magician."
I thought that she was being. I thought that she was just saying something or exaggerating when she was saying this, but no.
No, she's
a circus performer, and
Yeah.
she's the child of the magician.
Go figure. It doesn't really make sense how this plot plays out, because as it like Hirosuke also has a connection to this circus and this woman that I think it's just a coincidence that she happens to be walking by. But
Detective Exposition will iron out all of these creases.
Yeah. They're gonna team up because he's like, "Where did you learn the lullaby?" And she's not quite sure either. She remembers it from some vague memory. So, a man who worked at the circus with her used to sing it, and he was a man who lived on this island. So
He's got his next clue.
they're gonna team up and try to track down the origin of this lullaby.
Mm-hmm.
He draws her the picture of the cliffs, but then cops come in and bust the whole party up, and he has to run because he's an escaped inmate.
But he had a weirdly easy time escaping.
Yeah, this has been all. This must be part of Jogoro's plan, I guess.
Well, you know, at the asylums there, when it's bedtime for the inmates, it's bedtime for everybody.
Yeah, it's nappy time.
The circus. So
Yeah.
he gets to the big tent circus, and we see some, looks like archival footage of circus stuff. There's elephants doing balancing acts and trapeze artists and clowns dancing around like dipshits. Look at these trapeze artists, dipshits.
Jumping around like a bunch of dipshits.
Everyone in the circus is dancing like a dipshit. It's one of the. That's why everyone loves the circus.
It gives me like a dipshit release. I can vicariously feel like a dipshit by watching them dance around like dipshits.
Dipshits are delightful.
So
Guys juggling like a dipshit.
just go to the circus. What are these dipshits? So Hirosuke meets up with Hatsuyo, and he has a beard now to disguise himself.
Oh.
He shows her the picture of the seaside cliffs he drew, and she confirms they look familiar. She says another circus performer, Mr. Tetsuzo,
We never
also
see him.
recognized the lullaby and told her it's from the villages on the Sea of Japan coast. But Mr. Tetsuzo was fired from the circus and can't be reached.
Man.
So just as Hatsuyo is about to remember a crucial piece of information, she doubles over moaning. She's been stabbed by an unseen assailant.
Man. Plot twist 17.
Right in the middle of a crowd of people. Everybody thinks it's
Broad
Tatsuya.
daylight.
Yeah, Hirosuke, he's like, what happened? And then he picks up the bloody knife and everyone's like, well, this guy just stabbed her. And
Pretty obvious.
Yeah. And again, this is all part of somebody's plan, but
We don't know who, and we don't actually know that
plan
it's
with
a
a lot of
plan.
holes in it,
Yeah,
if you ask
that
me,
could
but
go wrong at any second. This was a very risky part of the
He
plan.
knew that he would get away with this.
So at the end of the movie, when we find out what the big plan is, it's by sheer dumb luck that it all worked out for
Yeah,
him.
there was a million moving parts, and the motivations were strange and unpredictable.
He's pretty much, holy shit, it worked. Holy
It
fuck,
all,
he cleared it.
Almost got away with it too, if not for Detective
me.
Kogoro. We got the
newspaper headlines flying across the screen.
classic.
Beautiful circus girl murdered. Broad daylight assault. Man with a beard stalked and murdered
Yeah.
girl.
I don't know if we've seen this since North. I think this happens in North. There's a headline swirling across the scene.
Yeah, we need to get the swirling headline counter way up on this podcast
Yeah.
because I love it
It's a
whenever
common trope. It's got to pop up a few times.
So now we cut to coastal Japan, and Hirosuke's riding the train. He's got a little disguise. He's got like an eye patch on. It looks like a gauze patch.
I gotta say that it's not like it can't be that much to go on right to find. It's like, oh, I know these cliffs. They're from the coast of the
man.
Sea of Japan. Like takes up all of Japan's
That doesn't narrow
I know
it down.
that's an
west
insane-
side, west coast, right?
Yeah.
That's the Sea of Japan.
I'll know it when I see it.
And it turns out these cliffs aren't even on the coast. They're on some island that's way the fuck off.
But not
Yeah.
only does he know that he's gonna find it, but also the big man pulling the strings, who's dancing like a maniac, dancing like a dipshit. Sorry,
Yeah.
is aware that he's gonna find all of this.
The guy's a super genius.
Yeah.
It's
Mega brain
all
over here.
part
So
of
he's
the
monologuing
plan.
to himself in voiceover, like a noir detective. Who framed me as a murderer? And why? And what for? And who killed that poor girl, Hatsuyo? The answer lies on some town along this Sea of Japan coast. I will unravel this mystery. I swear it.
So,
So he's in a fucking train and he's blowing past villages. Could be any one of these villages.
And as he's doing this, I just couldn't stop thinking about Frank Drebin because he does this little monologue a couple times, and like it's gonna like cut away to him leaving a car wash with like a car, like some attendant hanging on the back of the train or something like that.
There's a bit of a noir flavor. He's like a detective trying to piece together his own. He's monologuing to himself. It's a mashup of two movies. The strange,
And where the hell am I?
like two disparate styles, two Edogawa Rampo stories: The Strange Tale of Panorama Island and The Demon of the Lonely Isle. So one is like a talented Mr. Ripley con job where a guy assumes the identity of another person, and then one is like a Dr. Moreau monster movie. And then they were just like, why don't we just put these two stories together for this movie? And
Great, glad they did it.
yeah,
Pretty much, yeah.
may as well.
So he reads a newspaper and sees he has an identical doppelganger who has died, named Genzaburo Komoda, heir of the Komoda family. God, this movie's plot is crazy. It's so convoluted.
First he does the funeral. Yeah, he's watching.
Because I mean, well, I guess he gets the massage
Okay,
from
I jumped way ahead. What?
from the masseuse of exposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Several characters in this movie have a PhD in exposition.
And this is a common thing in
He gets
Japan.
this massage and he's like, fill me in on this guy.
The
And-
local goings-on.
And she's like, well, I'm just an old blind masseuse, but I don't know much. But also, let me tell you every single thing you ever needed to know.
Even a blind masseuse knows every detail about everybody's backstory.
Even a blind masseuse finds a nut now and again.
You'll see in a lot of Japanese movies that the massage therapists are blind. Teruo Ishii, that's his profession, the blind swordsman. He's a masseur. He goes from town to town massaging. That was a job that blind people could do in feudal Japan. So, I've seen a ton of movies where there's a massage person and they are visually impaired. So
Okay, so he's getting a massage, and basically, she notices that he has a swastika-shaped scar in his foot.
he's a Nazi.
And, sir, you have a scar on the sole of your foot. The late Genzaburo Komoda had the exact same scar.
The plot
Right.
thickens.
That's very strange. What a coinkydink.
So our notes, this section's titled Informative Massage, and I totally misread it as Informative Message. And I realized I pulled a real-life Inspector Clouseau. I was like, there's an important message for massage. I don't want a massage. There's an important message.
I need the message.
Yeah, no, I never had a masseuse tell me anything I needed to hear.
But did you ever try to get the lowdown?
You could really lose some weight. Well, thanks a lot.
I'm not paying you to talk.
Yeah.
Next time you get a massage, you have to ask, say, give me the lowdown on what's going on. Like, tell me what's up. What are the characters around here? Tell me about them.
Which local politicians have you tugged off lately?
What's so-and-so's ass feel like?
Yeah,
What's the mayor's ass feel like?
Yeah.
Yeah. How big is Mike Sobel's cock?
Yeah. Because
Mike Sobel's cock bigger than mine?
always wanted to know. Always.
Always, yeah.
Yeah. Unlike my priest or my therapist, a massage therapist is allowed to tell you your client's secrets. I don't think there's a client privilege, so
There's no...
you can pump them for information.
I always tell my priest, like, you can tell people about my cock if you want to.
Yeah, tell them.
Please.
Don't tell them the truth.
Tell the truth.
Fluff me up a little.
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth. Okay, so a seaside funeral procession for Genzaburo Komoda crawls along the roadway in the pouring rain. Hirosuke attends incognito. He's disguising himself. He hatches a plan to assume Genzaburo's identity and unravel this mystery, which is foolproof.
Yeah.
And of course, anyone would see this coming.
And put in his shoes, I would do the exact same thing, so I get it.
Yeah.
My God, that man looks exactly like me. I must become him.
This is the most convoluted plot we've ever covered.
Should I go
Just
to the
wait.
police? No, I'll dig up the body, put his dead body clothes on, and hatch an elaborate plot.
Yes. He leaves a suicide note for the identity of Hirosuke, fakes his death as though he'd thrown himself off some rocks into the sea. Okay, see, there's a connection
There's
with the previous film.
It's a
we got
Japan
a connection.
He exhumes Genzaburo's body from the graveyard, puts his outfit on, and
This is where the priests do an amusing Abbott and Costello routine where they're freaking out over Genzaburo Hirosuke in disguise, and they're like, is it a ghost? You carry him. No, you carry him. And Genzaburo's acting.
Zoinks!
He's acting really weak.
Ghost!
You know, like a body that just woke up. Yeah, it's great. They give him some water. One of the priests says he can't carry the body because he has diarrhea, so he's from drinking too much tainted water, so he can't carry the body. And
Someone tapped the tainted water.
they go back and forth.
so the body smells bad, no?
oh yeah, the body smells like diarrhea.
I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure
Oh,
what
wait, I
they were
think-
getting at here.
Yeah, I think it's both. I think
But
so-
he's like, surely I shit my pants. And it's like, are
like-
they moving this body and they smell...
I think they're like fighting, like, you carry the body. I can't carry the body because I have diarrhea. I could be wrong though.
Okay, well, bodies don't smell like diarrhea.
No.
So maybe you're right.
They smell different.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
sometimes
take a whiff of the high and low dungeon. We don't have smell-o-vision yet on
Yeah.
podcasts, but
sometimes a body does diarrhea though, so then it smells like diarrhea. So I've been told.
Diarrhea, it does a body good.
Better out than in.
Vonn leaves for 2 seconds, and we're just flailing.
This is another classic high and low thing, though, diarrhea. We saw that in The Hateful Eight. We saw that in Daniel San. That was his move to get away from bullies, making a diarrhea. So this is kind of a trademark of our show.
No applause on the train for Danielson when he diarrheas himself.
I would. I think that's more impressive. To be able to do that at will, it takes amazing sphincter control.
So Hirosuke lies prone on the floor, surrounded by doctor, priest A, priest B, and a nurse. And the doctor agrees it's strange for a dead man to have such a strong pulse.
I concur.
This is unusual.
Yeah, this is the strongest pulse I've seen in a dead man.
I've seen a lot of dead people before. Usually there's no pulse.
It's again, this is like a weird comedy scene. The priest is like, this doctor's a quack. And then the priest and the nurse start making out. And the priest is like, we screw around a lot. She's an old girlfriend. Don't get angry. I'll give her to you, you old... It's played for comedy, this. I don't know. It's like, they're making out. And
It's a little out of the tone of the movie.
yeah.
To be fair, the tone of this movie is kind of all over the place.
This sticks out like a sore thumb. Yeah, this movie goes through several tones.
The movie's mostly erotic and violent.
Yeah, and then weird detective fiction
detective-y.
mixed in.
But yeah.
And just completely baffling.
Yeah.
They do a prayer clap over the body, and
Yeah.
good to go. The plot worked. You know, that's how you fake coming back from the dead.
He's good.
Genzaburo's resurrection.
So we're at the Komodo estate now.
Hirosuko's doing some voiceover. The whole movie's his voiceover. Genzaburo's resurrection was diagnosed as the result of temporary asphyxiation. I spent a couple of days feigning to be an emaciated patient. Here we see Chiyoko Komodo, the wife of the deceased Genzaburo that Hirosuke is taking his identity. She brings him tea and medicine and lays on the floor. And Chiyoko is a virtuous woman. I felt I might succumb to her allure. But that would be dangerous. She knows his body and all his dispositions.
Yeah, we know what that means.
Fair.
Yeah, smart. He's playing it smart.
So
I waited.
I waited until Chiyoko was asleep before I thoroughly searched the house. Hirosuke creeps through the Komodo estate. A black cat leaps out from nowhere for
Jump
the jump
scare.
scare. Oh, we got a jump scare in this
Not
movie.
bad.
Very 2024.
Even
2025, sorry.
That's ahead of its time, just like Vengeance is Mine.
Hirosuke peeks in on his 3 servant ladies. So yeah, like at the funeral procession, he got eyes on the whole gang of characters.
Yeah,
here.
he knows the entire Komodo estate. He knows like
there's the steward, this kind of oldish man.
Mm-hmm.
There's the 3 servant ladies. There's Genzaburo's wife.
Yeah. He knows what he needs
Chiyoko.
to, and he can improv from there, you know? He's just gonna wing it
He's
from there.
just gonna yes and his way.
Yes, yes, I am Genzaburo.
And I am going
guy's-
to work now.
And you are
This
my
guy
wife.
has 3 servant ladies and a steward, so he's obviously an aristocrat.
Yeah, they're one of the things that the blind masseuse filled him in on was that Jogoro Komodo is the patriarch of this Komodo clan, and he has this mad vision where he's slowly bankrupting this family by pumping all their money into this crazy island project. It's a big mystery. No one knows what it is. God knows.
Him and his island mischief. No, trust me, the island is filled with diamonds and
Yeah.
gold.
Yeah.
So, but he's got 3 slutty house maidens.
Yeah, just sleeping all together.
Yeah, with their legs up and they're cuddling and giggling. And
This guy lives in the Playboy Mansion.
he also has the wet nurse that nursed Genzaburo and basically raised him.
Yeah.
But once again, listeners, that's Hirosuke's twin brother, who is apparently a super identical twin. They even have the same scar.
But they aren't. One of them's left-handed and the other one is right-handed.
Oh, yes.
Right.
So there is
and
a
that's
difference.
what we find out right now. Hirosuke notices that Genzaburo was left-handed when he's looking through old photos.
He's looking at all these old photos and he sees
like,
him
oh, he plays
holding
baseball
his left
in this
hand,
way or
baseball.
whatever.
Yeah.
I better not give the game away by handling something with my right hand.
I sure hope nobody asked me to sign a legal document right in front of them.
Yeah, which we know is coming.
Plot twist.
But gotta finger bang the old lady with the left hand.
Yeah, he's being served breakfast now by the fawning Komodo women household. The serving, like his wife and the servants and stuff. They say a man like him only comes around once every 1,000 years. He commands his wet nurse to bring the paper. Okay.
Every 1,000 years. Full stop.
What does that mean?
Pregnant pause.
Actually, funny you should say that. He forgets for a minute that another difference between Hirosuke and Genzaburo is that Genzaburo is a little bit visually impaired. He wore glasses. He can't read without glasses. So he's reading the paper without his glasses, and they're like, hey, you can read that? What happened? He's like, I forgot. No, I can't read it at all. I better put my glasses on. And he almost fumbles.
He keeps saying visually impaired, and I'm just really happy that all the sensitivity training that we're putting him through at the High and Low studio is
just
paying
reading.
off.
Well, he's not fully blind. He's just visually impaired.
Yeah, after that New Year's episode, we had to send Mitchell to re-education camp.
2025, we're trying harder. We're trying to be better.
Old Grandpa Mitch.
Yeah.
He's from a different time, folks.
This blind dipshit. He's reading the paper like a dingbat.
So yeah, they're just reading glasses. He made a big deal of it, but you know,
every little detail matters.
So now Hirosuke's nearly savaged by this German shepherd that his steward is taken out for a walk. Hirokawa, for whatever it matters. We'll just say steward to try and keep these fucking simple.
There's too many H names.
The last I heard, the running of the household belonged to the king, not you, steward.
Steward.
Belonged to Hirozuka.
Not the king, he's just a steward.
Kogoro household.
The running of the
needs no
household
king.
is the responsibility of Genzaburo, steward.
In fact, it's better you don't mention Genzaburo at all.
But this is a big tip-off to Hirokawa, the steward, because a dog attacking its owner, the dog should recognize the scent, but something's a little off with the scent of this Hirosuke. He doesn't quite smell like Genzaburo, so another little clue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could fool humans, but the dog knew its master's scent.
Chiyoko, the wife of Genzaburo, is now, she's like throwing herself. He's running out of excuses. He's been like, I can't sleep with you because I'm very
been a
ill.
couple weeks or so now, and it's like
like,
why aren't we fucking?
I have a headache. Cheers is on. Cheers rerun. Cheers.
Yeah.
I need to talk to somebody about making the show named Cheers. That hasn't come out yet.
I'm still working on my fantasy team. I'm setting up my podcast.
And this is very...
All the excuses we know.
It gets pretty sexy here. This is kind of like licking the drool off an old man's lips, because she takes Hirosuke's medicine into her mouth and then spits it into his mouth like a baby bird. And he's giving the... Chiyoko desires my body, and I desire her. But this is dangerous.
Does he fuck her?
Maybe
not yet.
Not yet. No, she wants hard French.
He's still playing like he's a baby.
He gives her a little peck. Yeah, this is a little peck time.
He's stepped away from the heavy flirt, the Dean Martin flirting, and now he's being coy.
Yeah, he's playing hard.
I mean, that is sexual assault, right? If you're pretending to be someone's husband.
True enough. He's like, maybe I am her husband.
I think that qualifies.
I've got the same scar as him.
I don't know. My brain doesn't work so good. The memory, I don't.
Maybe I am insane.
Maybe I should go back to the asylum.
So the two of them are hosting a dinner. A few days later, there was a great celebration. I focused my attention toward the small talk of the guests. Being Genzaburo's imposter was exhausting.
Yeah, that would be.
He excuses himself to the toilet, where he is approached by one of the handmaidens. Shizuko is her name. And she says, "You've been cold to me these past few days. Chiyoko's going out tomorrow night. I'll be waiting." And he's like, And she leaves. And he's like, perplexed. That attitude. That was no ordinary relationship.
Love triangle.
No shit, Sherlock. You're having an affair.
It'd be so hard to
Wait
get your
a
bearings
minute.
straight if you just like suddenly came into this life and I'm like, I guess I am having an affair. And you just
Sleeping with the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he just read it wrong? Just like
Unless you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, then be like, okay, I know exactly what I'm doing. I was going to do that anyway. I was going to fuck the housekeeper.
Yeah.
I impregnated her.
every time Arnold Schwarzenegger goes to a buddy's place. So by the way, where's your housekeeper?
I'm coming at the
fucking
buddy's
her?
place.
I'm fucking her.
How great is my life?
Great is my life.
If you're not fucking your housekeeper, I'll do it. Polishing floors. I like that we get I think it's in this one, we get a bit of a glimpse into some of the choring.
Yeah.
Like, I've seen it in Ghibli movies where people are scrubbing down the floors and they're pushing down, they got their ass in the air and they're just doing laps. They're going up and down the deck.
There was a little of that in Vengeance's Mind when they're cleaning the inn, too. They're doing the ass in the air on the deck.
Love that. Good scrubbing. Good scrubbing action. I appreciate that.
Good technique.
That turn you on?
Yeah. I didn't realize it until just now, but
Good scrub.
Yeah. That's why it's erotic and it's grotesque. That's the name of the game.
that's the name of my sex tape.
The erotic and the grotesque.
The erotic and grotesque malformed man.
You take a D, it's cleaner. So he's once again pulling his sick act so he doesn't have to make love to his beautiful wife. Well, his twin brother's beautiful wife.
Yeah. He's doing
He's
it.
like,
He's like,
let's have sex. He's like, no, Choco.
he's Al Bundy from Married with Children. That was his running gag.
I just realized this guy is living that Talking Head song. He's just like, he might find himself living with a beautiful wife.
How did I get here?
This is the movie version
How
of
did
the
I get
Talking
this
Head
car?
song.
Letting the days go by. Horrors of Malformed Men.
Fucking your brother's wife.
Once again, Chiyoko initiates hard French makeout style on Hirosuke, but he can no longer resist.
Style. Okay.
They make hard French. They fall asleep in the same bed. He can't resist anymore. He has finally succumbed to the temptation and slept with Chiyoko.
Yeah, I mean, you could only not for so long.
No, it had to happen eventually.
Your dick has gotten so much smaller since you got sick.
Another thing I didn't have in common with Genzaburo.
But no, I feel like you couldn't fool somebody if you in bed. I feel like his suspicions.
Yeah, that would be a giveaway. But it seems to work.
These
It's-
weird situations, though, just who knows what's going through everybody's mind. You think your husband's dead. He's come back from the
like,
from the dead. That's weird. She's got to kind of be.
You think your husband's dead, he comes back from the dead, and then he fucks you different. You would know.
This is
Yeah.
strange. But you could.
But I'm saying she might be trying to
I'd be
convince
like,
herself
he's an
otherwise.
alien or something.
She's lying to herself. She has
But
to be.
At the same time, he looks identical to your husband. He's got the same scar. You would just maybe dismiss those
I
notions.
guess. I mean, the scar would be a
Ganzaburo
Yeah.
always fingers me left-handed.
So yeah, they had hard Frenching.
Now he decides it's all at once. He's decided that it's okay to sleep with everyone. So
Send
now-
up one of those ladies, the ones who doesn't mind the hard French.
Yeah. Now he has an insatiable appetite for sex.
Yeah, he's like, okay, well, since I'm sleeping with Chiyoko, I might as well sleep with the mistress too. So Shizuko, the mistress, throws herself at him and initiates heavy French. And she says she missed him so much.
Are they gonna do full penetration?
They might do the penetration.
That's what I want to know.
They do heavy penetration. Wait, he's laying there like a cold fish. He doesn't even return a little peck.
What about petting?
Where the girls at? Where's the party?
You're at the party with some girls, man.
Hey, he gave us some girls.
Yeah, the girls these days, they do heavy French.
So basically, yeah,
Hey,
within
let's take a detour.
he has,
We're gonna talk about girls.
he's no longer afraid of giving the game away. He's just sleeping with everybody. He's making the best he's making lemonade out of these lemons.
Yes.
And how?
He's got to deal with the Komoda family business. Mr. Ozeki of the Nanara Fishing Company. He comes by with some documents that Genzaburo has to sign, and he's worried that he won't be able to sign with the left hand because the ruse is up. So he's trying to come up with an excuse not to sign. And a handmaiden comes in, and he quickly, swiftly knocks the tea that she's carrying onto the documents, and he's like, I guess I can't sign these today, guys. So the ruse continues.
Lucky.
So now we see Shizuko, the handmaiden that he's having an affair with. She's bathing in one of those wooden tubs, an ofuro.
Yes, that's sexy.
It's very sexy. Yeah, bathing sexily. She spots a deadly serpent in the room with her, and she screams. Hirosuke comes in, and he just fucking
Yeah.
He's hitting it with a stick or something.
Mashes it. Turns it into mashed snake.
It takes a long time. He just beats the shit out of this snake until it's finally flat.
I'm pretty sure, like a calamity of snakes, he is just actually probably just beating a snake to death in this scene.
In 1969, for
I
sure.
don't know. It didn't look like he was beating a snake to death, but...
Hard to tell once it's mush.
So then the entire Komoda estate is gathered for a meeting to try and determine how this deadly snake got into the house. And Hirosuke questions a new servant, Shinkichi, and he's like, does anybody know? And then this random guy just pops up out of nowhere, and he's like,
Where'd you come from?
And he's like, who the fuck are you? Where'd you come from?
I've literally been here the entire time.
I'm your gardener.
He's like, do you know anything? And he's like, nope.
I'll see you at the end of the movie.
Bye, movie. See you later. Yeah, exactly.
So they lay the groundwork masterfully.
Anyways, I'll be in the couch. Oh, wait, that's another guy, I guess.
Yeah, that's a weird out of nowhere.
I'm gonna sew myself into the couch like Frank Reynolds.
It's so funny that I thought of Frank Reynolds during both of these movies that we're doing for Japanuary. Is like, what he's like, just throw me in the trash.
Yeah.
And Vengeance is Mine's like, sew me in the couch. Some guy sewed into a couch in this movie.
He's
groping.
into a couch.
He gropes people.
Yeah.
So into a couch to grope people is so much more specific.
This movie is giving me all kinds of ideas. I consider this a genius blueprint.
I wouldn't be surprised if Charlie Day saw this movie and put that into the script.
Yeah.
That's a Frank Reynolds trait now.
Yeah. So Hirosuke, he visits Shizuko, the handmaiden, in her room, and she's received a threatening blackmail note that reveals someone's aware of her affair, and he comforts her, and then they make sweet, sweet love.
Yeah. Only way to comfort a lustful handmaiden, you have to make sweet love to her.
So now 2 of the female servants take a sexy bath in the old wooden wash tub. They chat about the strange goings-on around the Komoda estate lately, and they become paranoid that a snake might be in the room when they hear a noise outside the door. They open the door, and 2 hideous malformed men. They're standing there snapping and snarling and moaning like animals.
This movie has a few different kinds of malformed men. This is the first type. These
More
are more
than a
like
few.
a beast man. This is like a monkey man almost, like with big buck teeth and hair, and they're good fun. They chase. They like to chase after the girls.
That type seems like the horniest.
Yeah, that's the horny one. That's
They
the
want
one
the women.
most like a man.
I'm the horny one. He's the funny one. He's the cute one.
Every kind of malformed man.
Yeah.
They go to the servant girls scream, and that alerts everybody in the Komoda household. They chase the malformed men out into the courtyard. The new servant, the gardener's joining in on he's suspiciously spotted outside. It looks like he might have been involved in this somehow. That raises Hirosuke's eyebrow. But he has an answer for everything when he's questioned. He was just outside getting kindling for the bath. He was, wrong place, wrong time. He had nothing to do with these malformed men.
Totally fair to think for a gardener to say they were outside doing some stuff in the garden.
Mighty suspicious.
Yeah.
Just
Bit late
gardening
for
at
trimming the
nighttime.
birds.
Yeah, a little late.
Flowers prefer night baths.
So now Hirosuke and Chiyoko are sleeping in their Japanese floor mat bed thing.
Didn't get the name for that one.
I would just call it a bed, bitch. Those are your
It's on
notes.
the floor.
In the Japanese movies, that's all they sleep on is these things. It's like a little mattress on the floor.
Yeah, which it's great. It's a great space.
Yeah,
saver.
great economy of space. I love it.
Chiyoko wakes up. She's clutching her chest. Blood's pumping out of her mouth. She dies.
It's the second time this guy's been right next to somebody who's died mysteriously.
She's toast. We don't know what happened. Genzaburo.
It's fucked up.
Hirosuke, sitting at a Chiyoko's shrine. He says, I'm on the lam for murder. I had to treat Chiyoko's mysterious death as due to sickness. Poor Chiyoko. Who killed her? Or was it a suicide?
And where the hell am I?
We don't know. A noise interrupts his ponderings. He sees the silhouette of a malformed man escaping down the corridor. Hirosuke patrols the Komoda estate, but the malformed man is hidden up in the rafters, and the camera pans up, and you see him up there. Gross monkey man.
I love that. I love those rafters. Just They got lots of places you can swing from and hide in.
Yeah, that plays a big part in Kubi that I watched recently. That's where ninjas like to go, up in the rafters, and they can spy on everybody making love to each other.
We couldn't have ninjas here. I mean, we don't have rafters.
No, that's why they're an Eastern phenomenon.
There's no place for a ninja to hide.
That's by design.
We don't believe in closet doors here. We just...
I designed this studio so that we could not be penetrated by ninjas.
And we thank you every day for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. When we want to be penetrated by ninjas, we go to a different place.
I got a couple places. I got a Rolodex. I got a guy. You'll send a ninja to your house?
I know a guy who knows a guy.
So, now Genzaburo hears the same lullaby from earlier, and it picks up from somewhere in the house, and Hirosuke follows it upstairs, and he finds his childhood wet nurse, Gadashi, singing in Genzaburo's old bedroom. Don't you remember that lullaby? We sang it every day. Gadashi has a sketch, and she has a sketch of the same cliffy rock place. Genzaburo must have drawn this. And so now we cut to, he's found out kind of where he needs to go. Now he's heading to the island. Here's where kind of the story is cut into.
He talks to the steward, and he's like, I must see Jogoro, the patriarch of the Komoda household, who is still alive on this weird island. He's like, I need to go to this island and solve what all this magic mystery is about. So he gets on the boat, and the whole gang goes there. It is like a Scooby-Doo gang. Like he goes there, and everybody, the whole family. The steward goes.
Yeah.
One of the handmaidens.
Hirakua, the steward, doesn't want to go because Jogoro has been bankrupting the family, and he's like, if we go, he's just going to demand more money, but he twists his rubber arm. They go to the party island.
Well, it's like when you're pulling a grift and they finally...
It's Fire Island.
You have to go... Yeah. Ja rules it.
I was ready to, for some water.
Jogoro is making cheese sandwiches, shitty cheese sandwiches on Wonder Bread for everybody. There's a crappy tent.
Everybody, Horrors of Malformed Men here. Murder!
This malformed man's just a guy covered in plaster. You're not fooling anybody. It's a knockoff.
This is going to be the tightest.
All right. Here's your rationed Nestle water bottle.
I can't believe
it's going to last you the 3 weeks until we get rescued.
I asked for the
See
VIP
if you can
package.
eat some crabs, yo.
Jogoro greets them. He's writhing like a weirdo amongst the rocks and dancing again. He's doing his Buto performance. He says, I have not permitted you to come here. Until my vision is complete for this island, I want nobody to come here. But since things are almost complete, I will show you my ideal world.
Since you're here anyways.
Yeah, might as well give you the tour.
None of this makes sense. Okay.
Jogoro.
Whereas the other movie had me fawning in admiration when I watched it, and even more admiring it when we broke it down. This one
makes even less sense somehow. It's incredible. It didn't make sense to begin with, and it's making less as we go through it. We're getting some clarification here.
I'll give you the tour, but you need to watch my dance first.
He does a weird... It's kind of just how he moves around is like a weird, kind of creepy dance.
Bum, bum, bum. It wasn't a dream or a hallucination. I had been here before, but when and under what circumstance?
How mysterious.
Yeah.
Jogoro, he's leading them through his island. It's a big freak show. Everywhere they go, there's a new creature around. There's a bunch of malformed men cresting a hill as soon as they get out there. There's the bucktooth monkey men, which seem to be the overseers, and they're whipping a group of like servile, chalky-covered malformed men who seem to be like more animalistic and controlled by the monkey men.
I love in movies like this when you just have these bizarre societies, like in Planet of the Apes, and you need to kind of like break down. It's like, well, you know, the gorillas, they're the warfaring ones. They do
bigger.
This thing, and the orangutan, well, they're kind of like the doctors. Yeah.
They can do finances.
It's good when it's a mystery to have it set in that kind of a world. Because it's like you can just kind of hand out these little crumbs of world building as you're going along. And it's like, okay, that's another layer. That's another layer. That's interesting. Okay.
there's little hints of depth. You're like, oh, there's a lot of stuff I'm not seeing between the lines here.
Yeah, this movie's really deep.
Don't worry.
So deep.
Everything will be explained to us in great detail.
As deep as the fish woman. They're taking the boat through the island. Now there's a bunch of like aquatic themed malformed men. There's some fish women popping out of the water.
They were hot.
They're all shiny. They're covered in like gold and silver paint, and they're swimming through the water.
I would like to
So hot.
meet a fish
Oh my
woman.
God. You don't put fish women? You guys want to go to Japan? They have fish women there.
They're kind of the iconic thing from this
Yes.
movie. They're like the image that keeps popping up in like on posters and stuff. These fish women, they're very striking looking.
So
Another movie this reminds me of is Wicker Man.
Totally.
Yes,
you
very
just go
much.
to an
Wicker Man.
island and everything. Everybody's got. It's a
crazy
totally secluded
cult.
way of life. Yeah.
They're all
and,
weirdos.
and it's erotic and fucking weird, and they're doing music, and it's like, what the fuck have I got myself into? I've stepped into
Yeah.
another world here.
So
I made a big
I'm
mistake.
comparing that favorably to the original Wicker Man.
I was dozing a bit when I was watching this movie, and then when I got to the end, I'm like, I was gonna log in on Letterboxd, and the picture that they have there is like the 3 silver women, and they have like meat hanging from their teeth or something like that. I'm like, I don't remember seeing that, and I had to go and like rewatch like a good like half hour of this movie that I just kind of like nodded off here and there, and so
The
this
hits
whole chunk, this
just
whole
keep coming with these weird malformed men. It's throwing a lot at you. There's like waterfowl women. There's goats. There's people who have seemed to have like goat legs sewed to the back of
just
them.
a lot of run of the mill hunchbacks, just
Some hunchbacks. Lots of hunchbacks.
This is a very psychedelic movie, folks.
totally.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
hard
of the
to
60s.
actually do it justice.
Yeah, it has to be seen to be believed. I mean, if nothing else, it'll thoroughly. You won't be bored watching it.
No, not at all. Not at all. This movie is for everybody. Children, elderly.
This movie's for the children.
They're doing all kinds of weird things. They're playing with fiery devil sticks. They're jumping through hula hoops. They go to the fish woman cabaret. This is where the fish women are dancing. The shiny fish women. Hirosuke's like, there's still more things to investigate. The image of the dark storeroom. Was it real? Does it exist on this island? He's still trying to find the Gemini woman or whatever, the twin woman.
So much of this movie is him narrating what he's about to do, and then other people narrating what has happened, and
Yeah.
kind of filling in the blanks of
It's
everything.
a great trick.
It's a weird combination. It's an unusual combination of showing and telling.
Yeah.
Where
yeah.
they're lots of times like a hacky movie will just explain everything. Where this movie's explaining a bunch of things that aren't shown but necessary to understand what is being shown,
Yeah.
and it's showing you. It's a visual delight. Everything that's going on
Yeah.
here, especially in this sequence. Once
It's
you
a-
get to the island, it's just really starts popping off.
I understand this is an adaptation of a book or story or stories, but
Amalgamation.
this is a really inspired use of film as a medium.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
It's fucking using it to its full potential. I really appreciated a lot of these sequences and what this movie's doing.
This really is some Kino, but yeah, it is interesting. Like it is like I'm assuming a lot of these malformed men are probably part of this guy's Buto performance art troupe or whatever. So they're probably like all into this performance artist stuff, and everybody moves like that, and they're all kind of doing their thing, and it's fascinating.
like the
to
actors.
behold.
No-
Yeah,
yeah.
like the actual actors. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
So
cool.
Hirosuke, he is going and he finds the two-faced woman. So as he's kind of going and looking around, trying to find everything, trying to put all the pieces together, he gets a flash of these two faces, and he peels back the curtain and he finds out that it's a Siamese twin. It's conjoined twins.
Yeah, that woman that he saw in his dreams earlier.
Yeah, but
She's a beautiful woman. This is the same actress who played the woman, the circus girl he met earlier.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah, they're twins as it turns out.
okay.
Oh my god, I didn't even catch
Yeah,
that
yeah.
detail.
My God.
Yeah, so he sees her. She's got like a monster stitched to her back, like this
It's
disfigured
absurd.
So
brute
yeah,
man.
and he's like, it's peculiar because usually conjoined twins are, they're always the same sex. This is
Yeah.
two different sexes.
This has been done with surgery
And it's-
somehow.
And Jogoro is right behind him, and it's great. He's just like laughing, like,
He always laughs
I have
evilly.
such wonderful things to show you.
After every line, he's got one of the best evil laughs. He's in a great spirits all the time.
Yeah. And so he takes him around. Now he starts showing all the goat people. He's just feeding grass to everybody while he's just kind of talking about his island and his project and his plans.
There's like naked chicks in cages covered in plaster. And they have, like, whatever, tails and shit.
Yeah, just any kind of random assortment. One guy, it looks like he has truck nuts hanging off of him.
Totally. It looks like he looks like a bald chinian walking around with a big old dangly pair of nuts hanging from his chin.
Just like any kind of weird shit. I mean, it's you could probably watch this movie like a dozen times and pick out some weird new malformed monster that's in the background somewhere.
This shit is so awesome.
Yeah.
Love it.
I fucking love this movie.
And so Hirosuke, he's not digging it. He's not happy with what's being shown to him.
Genzaburo, this is your world. Why? What for?
You're a doctor. I need you to make me more malformed men. Which is part of his plan. He needs a doctor to help make more malforms.
It is just a stack. His plan is so weird. His plan just gets weirder and weirder and weirder.
Almost like he's just a rich lunatic who has too much money and too much time on his hands.
Yeah.
And
these are all people that he has gathered, old people, babies. He has deformed them surgically because he has webbed hands, and so he's a malformed man, and he doesn't like the way the world looks at malformed men, so he's going to turn the world into surgically deformed, malformed men to a...
This is a better timeline.
That's why I started the podcast.
This is where we should be.
Yeah.
Instead, we have fucking freaks, dipshits, jumping around, buying
Like a
social
bunch of
media
clowns.
platforms so they can say the N-word.
But if I had my way, I would malform Elon Musk through surgery.
They should just make them...
But this is what he's doing with his money. Why wouldn't he have this island? That's so
Yeah.
much more fun.
He probably does.
No, he doesn't. He's
He
too
wishes.
stupid.
He's too stupid to have an island with malformed men.
He's too stupid. He would
you
talk
imagine?
about it.
That's
Yeah.
100% true.
Fucking dumb.
Yeah, that's true. He doesn't have that killer edge that Jogoro has. That secretive.
And he has no fucking creativity.
I was just thinking, there's no artistry.
No.
This rich lunatic, he's an artist.
Yeah.
Say what you want about his methods and his plans.
He has vision. Mm-hmm. That's what counts for an evil villain.
So
I wish Jogoro was influencing international elections.
we could do a lot better. Jogoro,
Yeah.
I'd vote for him over all the
But-
people that are about to get elected in
know?
the United States, Canada, Mexico, Germany. They have a far right party.
Yeah. I mean, this is an
Yeah, the
ongoing
list goes
problem.
on.
People.
And on.
Everybody says we need more scientists running for government. We need more people who actually know what's going on. Economists.
I'll take a mad scientist. Just
Yeah,
give me
get
a
him in there.
scientist.
Give me somebody who's read a fucking textbook.
We know this guy knows surgery. That's
God
something.
damn it.
This is-
Seems like a utopia.
I
Oh,
wish
super cool. We got our malformed men.
Yeah.
I'm trying to X where all malformed men come.
Fuck, I wish.
the plot. We get a little. Now we find out the connection between Hirosuke and Genzaburo. Jogoro reveals that Hirosuke is Genzaburo's younger twin brother.
You gotta bear with us, folks.
And
This
he-
is extremely convoluted.
Yeah. He sent.
We have detailed notes, and it's hard to parse out what's going on.
Once Hirosuke came of age, he was sent to Tokyo to enlist in medical school because of Jogoro's overall vision that he wanted him to become a surgeon to help him deform people through surgery. So,
Fair enough.
Hirosuke realizes that he is, he really is part of the Komodo family. He's the twin brother. He was sent away when he was young. I don't think we ever learn why he lost his memory, though. I don't know if they mention it, but Hirosuke reveals that you're dreaming. I'm not Genzaburo. I am Hirosuke. I am the kid that you sent away to medical school. My brother died for real. He never resurrected. I was in the mental asylum, and then I escaped the hospital, and I became a fugitive, and I am Hirosuke.
Little does he know that he's playing right into Jogoro's plan, and it's like, aha! It turns out that I totally kind of planned for you to be take my other son's identity.
To do 10 million
and
things.
it's all for you to come here.
10 million implausible actions lead you here, and it was exactly part of his plan.
Again, he's playing 3D chess.
To be fair, I think this this Jogoro guy has multiple irons in the fire here.
Yeah.
And so if any one of them came back, he would have this exact same speech prepared.
Yeah, if this scenario had played out in any way, it would have been somehow part of his plan.
Well, it's like the Emperor in Star Wars, where he keeps being like, ha 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 ha, I knew you would betray me, or whatever. It's like, did you?
It is exactly as I have foreseen.
Brilliant.
I knew you would kill my best warrior.
Thank
You're
God
kind
it
of
worked
full
out.
of shit, aren't you?
I knew you would blow up
But
my
no,
battle
we have
station.
like 25 more layers of bullshit to peel through before we get to the true shit.
We really got to dig deep before Detective Exposition comes along and
Jogoro
exhumes us.
reveals that the circus girl that Hirosuke met earlier, way at the beginning of the movie, folks. There's been 100 plot twists since then, but that was someone that he paid to actually lure Hirosuke to the island. And the two-faced woman with the monster stitched to her back is actually the twin sister of Hatsuyo, apropos of nothing.
Twin sister of Hatsuyo.
Yeah, that's the circus girl. Yeah. For no reason.
But
It's really...
okay, off book, off record.
Yeah.
Isn't she also
Yeah, that's
Hirosuke's
right.
sister?
So I guess
They're all sisters.
presumably
They're all brothers
related.
and sisters. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just family reunion.
This is like an onion. Hirosuke, Jogoro's like Hirosuke has fallen in love a little bit with the Siamese monster girl, and so he's like, I will help you.
There's this freak on your back.
Yeah. But the woman's
with bulging eyeballs and looks like a severe burn victim.
Yeah.
Fucking Elon Musk stitched to her back.
But I think that's relatable. Yeah. That's like a...
I wouldn't say he's as monstrous as Elon Musk. He is an unsightly creature.
Yeah, that's true. Musk has been deformed himself.
Gotta get
in
these
several ways.
jabs and comments out before the robot dogs come
Yeah.
in.
Incinerate us.
We could
into
all be
ash.
assassinated. So Hirosuke is gonna do it. He's gonna do surgery with Jogoro. He's gonna deform people. All he asks in return is that he can separate what is her name? Hideko from her monster on her back, and then they can become lovers. And he's like, the following month passed like a dream.
Well, that second part's just such a weird addition to the deal. It's like, I'll separate them, and then that'll free us up for becoming lovers.
I can't do it with that thing on the back. But they're
I would
living-
fuck her even with that freak attached to her.
It's good as he's on the back.
Oh, what? Oh, bro, shit.
Yeah. It's
I'll just put a little blanket over his head, bro. It's
It's
just
not
like
so
it's
bad.
the two of you
I
there.
done worse, bro. Spit on your hand and you go.
it's a
Whoops,
threesome
wrong twin.
every time.
Pull it out and stick it back
Whoops.
in.
Or was it? Wink.
There are these Siamese twins. There's these famous Siamese twins, like Abby and something.
Yes.
They're like teachers or whatever. They've got the whole body is joined. They've just got two separate heads, but they've got two personalities. They're
the ones that they were really famous and they married two men.
Yeah, they're married. They're married to two men, I'm pretty sure.
That shit fucks me up.
Yeah,
to
that's
think
weird.
About. They had, I think, two sets of genitals.
Okay, they might, yeah, because it's
The ones I'm thinking of, anyway.
yeah,
They're
their
the
body
most
is
famous,
broader, but they only have two arms and two legs. But
Can you imagine just being attached to your? I wonder what that's like.
What's
Yeah.
dating like? Yeah.
Being attached to your Siamese twin.
It would be weird.
Conjoined twin. That's not the. Yeah.
It sucks for them. One thing I was reading was that they're teachers now, and they both had to go to school and get teaching degrees. So they both have teaching degrees that they paid for, but they only draw one salary from the school they teach at.
What?
So
Oh, the
kinda
one
lame.
I'm thinking of. I think was more from the early 20th century.
Okay, these girls I'm thinking of. They had like a TLC show or something, so they're more recent, and they still seem to be.
God, I hope they got some money.
Yeah.
I love how the Learning Channel just became the freak show.
Yeah.
Look at these fucking 700-pound people. Look at these.
It's
8
Jogoro's
children.
Island.
She's gonna have 8 children. Optimum.
These are little people. Look at these Siamese twins.
Look at this man with plaster all over his body. Look at this guy with goat legs stitched to his ass. It's no different than Jogoro's Island.
Live on TLC or on Jogoro's Island.
The Learning Channel.
Learn about all the different types of folks that we have in our world.
And
it
humanizes
isn't it a
them.
splendid place?
Yeah. Real mosaic. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with any of those people,
Okay,
by the way.
No. Yeah, no, not at all.
Hirosuke, he works in Jogoro's strange laboratory where he gives syringes to a variety of strange plaster people connected to tubes.
Yeah.
Jogoro dances like a dipshit around some kind of spinning man in bondage gear while Hirosuke performs surgery.
Yeah. This is one of the all-time great, I think, mad scientist laboratories. It's just got jars full of, like, snakes and organs and all kinds of weird stuff. And
Just like what you'd find in our dungeons.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I modeled it after.
We can take after the best.
Yeah. Nothing out of the ordinary there.
Hirosuke and,
I felt like, like when they did Hunt for Red October, the Navy got all mad at John McTiernan and are all suspicious. Like, how do you know what the inside of a Navy sub looks like?
Yeah.
But he just was very creative. So when I'm watching this, I'm like, how'd they know what the inside of the high and low dungeons look like?
Yeah. I think that's why I like this movie. I
Like
feel
a longboat
represented.
to China to get to that joke.
We got there. Was that a Tom Clancy, though?
That was a Tom Clancy, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We should do some Jack Ryan at some point.
Clancy knew what goes on in the subs. This wasn't McTiernan.
No, Clancy was really smart about military tactics.
Yeah, he knew all about that shit. That was his obsession.
Hirosuke and Hideko, they've now found some marital bliss. They're happy together. They sleep in a shack and they make love. They're doing it now. And Jogoro comes chuckling from outside. He's peeping in like Granny from Vengeance's Mind.
This guy's got such a lust for life. I just love it.
Yeah. He says, I've been watching you two.
We should dance more.
Your bodies have intertwined. Your blood has intermingled. As a wedding present, would you like to meet your mother? So here's a new plot twist. The mother's on the island, apparently.
Yeah. Dun dun dun.
Jogoro leads them into the caves. This winding labyrinthian cave system. He's leading them deeper into it, into the bowels. They find a chained up woman in there. This is Toki.
I feel so bad for Toki.
Yeah, she's been in there for God knows how long. Hideko introduces Hirosuke to her, and she's like, this is the man who made me whole and separated this giant deformed monster off my back, and now we're lovers. This is a big... From here, the rest of the movie is exposition
dumps until the grand finale.
Holy
It's
shit,
just like
is
the
it
best
ever.
grand finale I've ever
Yeah.
seen in a movie.
Yeah.
So Jogoro gets into his sordid history with Toki, the woman
Here, I'll
who's chained
take it.
in there.
I suppose you're wondering how you got into this mess. Well, let's take it all the way back to the beginning.
So, Toki in a flashback to the past where he's peeping on Toki like a creep as she does chores around the Komoda estate. This is a selfish woman. This is the wife with whom I had a grand wedding. It was said by the villagers that Toki was the most beautiful woman in all of Japan, China, and India.
Whoa.
That's
Not the
three
world.
big places.
Dude, that's
Very
covering like
specific, though.
That's
a third to like a quarter of
that's
the
like a
population
half
of the world.
population.
Yeah.
He's like, there's actually is a hotter woman in New Zealand, so...
And I can't.
We excluded New Zealand from the survey.
It never
Hottest
pops
woman
up.
in Asia.
Yeah,
And I
pretty much.
became the woman's ugly groom. But I was, because he had these web fingers, right?
It's like
Yeah.
that guy. It's like that uncle, and It's Always Sunny, who has really small hands. And he's just like, oh, he's got such small hands. I'm a freak with my little hands.
I'm malformed.
Charlie.
Yeah.
I'm a malformed man.
But I was happy, no matter what anybody said. My soul was smitten with Toki. When Toki gardened, she was more beautiful than the flowers. Even in the kitchen, she was the cleverest housewife. I let her do whatever she wanted. It seemed that Toki didn't want me seen in public or next to her.
Luke's rubbing himself, and it's making me uncomfortable.
In a sensual way.
It's called acting, my dear boy.
Just go with it.
I find it erotic and grotesque at the same time.
Much like this movie.
So during that monologue, we've got all these shots of him like spying on his wife, and she's got these looks of disgust.
Yeah. He's a total
She's
creep.
like gardening, and he's like peeking around a corner and be like,
Yeah. He's always
and
peering
she's
at
like,
her.
ugh, gross.
Why is he being so weird?
It's like, she's your wife. I don't know, man. You
you don't
can
have
probably
to.
like talk to her.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but it's no wonder.
This guy's got my moves.
He's a wife guy. Are you a wife guy? Like,
I really
just
do
obsessed.
Just spying around the corner.
Just obsessed with your wife.
love her.
Just can't get enough.
I have a feeling she did not reject him because of his webbed hands, but just because he is such a creepy weirdo,
Yeah,
just
he's
peeking out
fucked.
around corners and doing all this other weird stuff and doing his budo dances.
So then
We're trying
Jigoro.
to talk. We're trying to figure out the budget. Can you stop dancing for a minute?
He had
So
a
then
dream.
Jigoro hired Toki's cousin Hayashida to placate her. And to Jigoro's dismay, he happened upon them having an affair.
Yeah.
So yeah, we see him sneaking and he's like, I know she's fucking another guy. I'm getting cucked. And he goes and he, of course, finds them.
His worst fears realized. They're in the throes of passion.
Yeah. And
It's-
this guy had already put his dirty seed inside
Yeah.
of her womb.
It's interesting that they're cousins. I had forgotten that. There's like layers of incest.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
We're piling on the incest in
Yeah,
this movie.
as
Just
it
you
turns
wait.
out. Yeah, you'll see.
This is why it's the low, even though it's actually objectively a great movie.
Yeah,
It's as lowbrow as it
it
gets.
will shock your sensibilities.
There's been a shocking lack of breasts for this last bit. The first chunk was
heck?
just every which
Pure
way.
breasts. They front loaded the movie with breasts. An
Yeah,
asylum
that's
full
the
of
case
breasts.
with a lot of movies.
Yeah, it's smart.
Although there are some really exploitative breasts coming up.
Now that the plot's gotten thicker,
So yeah, Jogoro's laying out all the exposition. He hired one of his monkey men to drag Toki and Hayashida into the caves, and he chained them up. Hayashida died, but Toki's will to live and to see her child was too strong. Jogoro forced Toki to survive in the caves by eating the very crabs that were feeding on the corpse of her dead lover.
Yeah, this part's fucked up.
yeah, he makes
We
her
see
like
his corpse sitting there, and there's all these crabs and shit crawling all over him, and
She's
he's like,
pretty great.
eat the crabs, bitch.
yeah.
You want to live? You want your child to live?
She-
Eat the crabs.
It's like
She's
a
like, I
fear
wanna
factor
die.
challenge. Like he's not content with one crab either. He's like, keep eating, just shovel crabs into your face. Like you got to survive for 3 more days if you ever want to see your baby. So you better shovel crabs into your face. And she's
I haven't seen someone shove crabs in their face this bad since.
Since you went to Baltimore?
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah,
Everybody can like that. Everybody can enjoy that.
a nice seafood
Keep
scoff.
it G-rated.
Yeah. Oh, a bit too late for that.
It's a G-rated episode.
Jogoro, if this wasn't good enough, Jogoro forced her to eat the crabs with the human flesh in them of her lover. Then he hires a hunchback to rape Toki, and Toki gives birth to Hatsuyo.
So that was actually a thing that made this whole scene, this whole explanation, even more grotesque and hard to stomach. Is he explicitly says that she was eating the flesh of her dead lover.
Yeah.
It's like not enough to just like eat the crabs. He had to really underline. It's
Yeah.
like, by the way, they've just been eating this corpse next to you. You're eating a corpse.
At least you got that layer of separation.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know
No,
if
that
it's the
didn't do it.
same
That
as
didn't move.
eating your lover.
No.
But he said it was, though.
In a way, it's like romantic, if you think
I
about
mean,
it.
I guess little
It's a-
bits of them are in the crab's guts. She didn't need to eat the crab's guts. It's not that hard to actually shell a crab.
Those were tiny little crabs, though.
I know it's a lot of work, but
Yeah, that was
it's worth
annoying.
it if it means not eating your dead lover.
Yeah.
If you ask me, you can shell the crab and gut it with your fucking fingers.
Hard to say.
Yeah, she didn't have to go so primitive on it.
These are Japanese women. They should know how to do this.
Yeah, that's true.
Seriously.
We already talked about Kids in the Hall earlier, but do you remember the bit? One of them's he's going through. He's like a big American guy with Mark McKinley. Mm-hmm. He's like a big old cowboy going through some drugstore in Canada. He's looking for crab medicine. He's looking for crab shampoo. Y'all got any crab shampoo? Oh, we got some bodacious crabs down south. I need that big old, that good strong crab shampoo.
Kids in the Hall did it.
No, I don't remember that at all.
No,
I swear I only remember the first couple seasons of Kids in the Hall. I need to revisit some of their later ones. I know.
Genius top
They
to
got
bottom.
really, really out there in some of those later ones.
I think pretty handily my favorite sketch comedy show, Kids in the Hall.
It's
overall.
influenced it's defined my sense of comedy more than almost anything. It's up there with like
And
Simpsons,
Canadian.
Monty Python. These are the
Yeah.
hallmarks that explained what comedy is to me and what I think is really funny.
I mean, for hit rate, I think You Should Leave is up there for me.
Yeah,
Totally.
actually, yeah. That's my favorite modern sketch
But there,
comedy.
there's been a lot of really great ones.
Yeah.
But yeah,
They're always
Kids in
good
the
for a
Hall
laugh.
is like foundational too.
Yeah. Well, it was
It's
always
so
on TV.
fucking funny.
When I would come home, it was just playing on CBC.
I know,
It
it's-
was right before, right after Simpsons. It was right in that window,
I know. I watched it all the time.
And it was
nonstop.
cool. They were cool cat.
All right, where are we to?
We're in a cave.
Yeah.
We're in the cave of exposition. You've heard the cave of wonders.
The Cave of Exposition.
Oh no, they killed him.
The diamond in the rough.
I'll get you, Gadget.
Very good.
Yeah. This is Jogoro reveals that he got the hunchback to rape Toki. Toki gave birth to Hatsuyo and Hideko, the twin girls, the circus girl and the Siamese twin girl. And he's like gloating. He's like, without knowing it, you slept with your own sister.
Which is a conclusion we've all come to a few
Yeah.
minutes before that. Oh, wait a minute.
If you're doing the math here, I think, oh my God.
Yeah, they just Luke and Leia this motherfucker
Yeah.
real bad.
They
In
went
case
all
you
the
needed
way.
the movie to be just a little bit more fucked up and
I don't want to spoil another certain movie in case our listeners haven't seen
yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
Rise of Skywalker.
You copulated as man and woman. You two have committed the blasphemous act of incest. Gotcha.
now you're fucked.
Hirosuke, he's not into it. He rejects Jogoro's strange ways. Stop it.
Strange ways. Your ways are strange.
Your plot is weird.
I don't much like the
had
way.
a 96-point flowchart plan to make me fuck my sister.
I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, it was fun.
Yeah, this movie puts Old Boy to shame. Spoiler alert.
That was the movie I didn't want us to
That's-
mention.
That's what the movie I thought you were talking about, but didn't want to say it.
In case you haven't seen, it's 20 years old.
Yeah, everybody must.
Everybody's seen Old Boy.
Rosebud's the sled.
It's been remade. Hirosuke, he said, "Stop it! Enough! I will not deform people." Jogoro begs him. Oh no, begs to differ. Jogoro begs to differ.
I beg you.
Please deform people. Do as I say, or you will remain in this cave until you die. The one who dies first is food for the crabs and the insects. They, in turn, are your food. Jogoro alone knows how to navigate the cave.
Yeah, so he
system.
blows out his candle and he leaves. He's like, I can find my way out.
Yeah. He's a monkey man.
Crazy.
He's mischievous.
I've carved glyphs and such into the walls of the cave. I can find my way out.
Only he knows. The steward, Komodo steward, begs not to be left in this cave. Jogoro reveals another plot twist. He knows that Hirakawa, the steward, is responsible for Hirosuke being placed in the mental institution. Mistress Shizuko, Hirosuke's the woman he's been sleeping with, who wasn't his wife Chiyoko.
Yeah, the handmaid.
She begs not to be left there also, but Jogoro reveals that he knows that she smooched with Hirosuke, so she's going to be left there.
Smooching with everybody.
They did hard French.
Little Jimmy with the gimp leg.
I'm going to give you to the count of 10 and then we're going to leave the cave.
1, 2, 10.
Bye. So he gets away scot-free. They die in the cave.
Yes.
End of movie.
Yeah, happy ending.
No, that's
Psych.
Psych. A booming laugh. Echoes through the cave.
You weren't expecting this.
And the new Komodo servant that we saw briefly before, who's like, "Hi, I'm also here. Who the fuck are you?
I'm a
I'm
gardener."
Shinkichi."
Honestly, I don't know. Did anybody see Godzilla Raids Again? It was the American rendition
yeah.
of Godzilla where
No.
it's half the original
Yeah,
Godzilla
yeah,
movie and
yeah.
half an American interpretation, trying to stitch it all
Is
together.
that the one with Raymond Burr?
Totally.
monologuing
It's the
over-
one with Raymond Burr, and they just kind of like keep they put Raymond Burr just off screen of what's happening. Like
Yeah.
that's what this guy is. Where it's like, oh, by the way, I
I'm
was
in
here
a
for that.
whole other movie.
I was here for that. I was here for this. And by the way, and
Time for the
here's what
movies to
happened to the
collide.
circus ringleader. But in case you were wondering,
I wasn't, but good to know. Yeah.
So this is ludicrous.
He,
Shinkichi reveals himself. He's got a pistol. I want to add to what you said. In Tokyo, there is a man named Kogoro Akichi who likes solving crimes more than he likes to eat. He noticed an ad in the papers. The Toyo building put out a vacancy for 10 days straight until one day the ad was gone. But the next day, once again, the advert for room number 13 was back. My suspicions, naturally, were aroused, so I visited the Toyo building.
this guy's like the modern day equivalent of some fucking guy who's putting the pieces of a conspiracy theory together.
yeah, he's got his wall with the threads on it. This is a Kogoro Akechi. This is
Nobody hired him. He's just
No.
some nosy fuck.
He likes to do mysteries. It's a little like Zodiac, like the journalist in Zodiac.
Yeah.
Just likes doing like cryptic
I'm
puzzles.
good at puzzles. I'm good at figuring out incest sex trafficking rings.
And this guy is Edogawa Ranpo's kind of like Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes or Edgar Allan Poe's Detective Dupin. This is his detective character who appears in a bunch of his short stories. This is like a recurring character through Edogawa Ranpo's fiction. So maybe this meant something to the people of Japan. Like, oh, it's good old Kogoro.
I've been
Yeah.
waiting for Inspector Clouseau to show up and figure out what's going on with the Pink Panther.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
here to crack the case.
I'll explain everything that happened. Any plot hole you found, I will fill in.
So he
All of them. Don't even worry about it.
and then some,
I'll answer questions you didn't know you had.
and add more questions. So he went to the location, discovered that a man had rented it out after posting an ad for female rental workers. A receptionist tells him about 200 girls lined up for the job. Apparently, the job terms were incredibly good. What was strange was that on the night of the job, What was strange was that on the night of the job call, he came to cancel the rental contract. 2 or 3 days after that, there were numerous requests to call the police to investigate runaway girls.
These runaway girls, they didn't even tell their parents where they were going.
It's not right. They're probably off doing drugs.
So the runaways is what they were targeting.
Yeah.
He just wanted Joan Jett to play at his birthday party.
And it's all tied together. This mental institution from the beginning of the movie. I guess these girls that were there are some of these girls who have been getting pulled to this island to be malformed. Through
Yes, at the time when the movie opened and there was this gigantic holding pen with a bunch of topless women.
Yeah.
I thought that's strange. I haven't thought about it since the movie started, but
No.
Turns out it was all part of the plan.
No, we have to tie up every loose end. So you bribed the director of a mental institution that was having financial difficulties. There, you can find the girls you deceptively gathered until transporting them to the island. So everybody's sitting there in the cave,
Yeah.
listening to this guy spout exposition like you've never heard before.
this is
in
where
your
it
life.
really got Edgar Allan Poe for me.
Yes.
It's like a cask of Amontillado where it's
or-
like, and let me explain everything.
One more thing.
Every little detail of my plan.
Or very like Agatha Christie or like Glass Onion. Like this is Daniel Craig in Glass Onion revealing at the end how he actually knows all the threads of the plot, how they go together or whatever. It's I guess a bit of a detective trope.
And I love it. I'm so there for it.
It's a little
As
insane in this
Totally
movie, but
out of
yeah.
left field as it is.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker.
Feels a little unearned in this movie because you didn't even know there was a detective in in the movie until this very moment, but okay.
And then we see Hirakawa dressed in women's clothing, which is a trope, I guess.
Yeah,
We've covered that on this podcast before.
And he's being crazy. And that's Jorogoro's right-hand man, right?
That's his steward who's been popping up.
He's fondling all these kidnapped girls in the asylum cell. And you are also a pervert who took drugs and chose girls you liked and acted out your perversions on them. And
I love how up until this point, Hirakawa has kind of been a bit of a stalwart servant. He's just been around. He's dutifully done his job.
Yeah.
But then in this 5-minute explanation of everything that's been happened, he's the most depraved pervert you'll ever.
He's a lunatic. I didn't see this coming. This is one of 500 twists in this movie.
Yeah.
He's the type of sick fuck who'll sew himself into a couch so he can fondle somebody.
Yeah.
He got double twisted in this ending.
And only someone as perverted as you, Hirakawa, would do something like this.
Hirakawa has one of the girls in the asylum, and he's got her with a knife. And she's like, and he's chasing her around, and it's a long, uncomfortable scene. And he slashes open her shirt, then he's slashing up her titties.
Yeah, we get a full-on, straight minute. The color stock changes into, it's like a red or yellow. It
gets creative.
It gets way grainier than any other thing in the movie's been so far.
It goes negative style.
Yeah, and it's a straight-up minute of just this woman's breasts being savaged with a knife.
Yeah.
Not cutting away. We go back to the super male gazy stuff that we had at the beginning.
Highly erotic.
But now it's violent.
So Hirakawa, the steward, was responsible for the imprisonment of Hirosuke and the murder of Hitsuyo, the circus girl,
Yes.
who was killed by an unidentified assailant earlier in the movie.
In order to set up
He threw a
Hirosuke.
knife at her while she was meeting with him at the
that's a
circus.
risky move.
He's circus trained. He's very talented with a knife.
This is 10,000 impossible variables.
Yeah, what's more complicated than 3D chess? That's what this is. 3D chess with chutes and ladders attached to it.
So then Shinkichi, that's Detective Kogoro, he traveled to the Sea of Japan coast and exhumed the body of Genzaburo, only to find it was missing its white burial clothes. He posed as a manservant and infiltrated the Komoda household by just being like, hey, I'm a gardener, and nobody asked questions because
Remember
everybody's
me?
got their own fucked up conspiracies they're working.
Everybody's in the middle of
They're
the
doing
most.
love triangles. They're
Yeah, everybody's involved in their own personal soap opera drama.
rich people.
He staked out Hirosuke and Chiyoko at the Komoda
Again,
Estates.
He's a nosy guy. Nobody's hiring him to do this. He's like,
No.
well, this is unusual.
This is quite the mystery. I mean, this was even Hirosuke's
This guy's a man of destiny.
kind of thing. He was he just saw a picture in a paper and he followed it to this area. And there's just something about this mystery that draws people in.
A good thing, too. Turns out he was on the right path the entire way.
It worked out.
So he found a secret compartment in Chiyoko's chair and deduced that Hirakawa
Only Hirakawa could be perverted enough.
he could be perverted enough
Nasty man.
to hide in her couch.
This man who up until 20 seconds ago was just a totally
Yeah.
normal guy.
So he sewed himself into a couch like Frank Reynolds and was jacking off and
I love how
Yeah.
this movie does it too.
He
they
tickled her.
they have a cross section of the couch, and you can just see him. He's
Yeah.
got the biggest shit. He's grinning like a dipshit.
It's like Superman giving X-ray vision. You see him at the couch tickling a Chiyoko on the
And there's
couch.
Chiyoko, she's fucking on the couch. He's like, and then she's just alone, and he starts groping her, and she's
this wasn't a thing in the plot of this movie. This was not a thing that happened in the movie. So this, I don't know, maybe this was a scene that was cut earlier where Chiyoko's mentioned a chair that tickles her or something, but
Who
this
knows?
just is right out of left
chair
field.
that molests me. I don't know. I like it kind of.
And like I said, I had to rewatch a chunk of this movie, and this part I did see the first time, and I rewatched it again. I'm like, yeah, okay, no, all of this is still just way to left
Yeah.
field.
This is as bizarre as my fever dream mind thought it was.
And so yeah, he's put all
I
the
love
pieces
that
together.
so much. That's my favorite detail.
Yeah, I want it. I mean, that's the thing I want to do.
Sew yourself into a chair
Into a
and
couch.
rope a woman.
Yeah. Oh, anyone.
Gonna come here next week.
It's
Like,
all
You'll
the same.
never be the wiser.
Mitch
It's all the
isn't here.
same when you're in a couch.
That's weird. Mitch said show up at 6 o'clock. He's not here. I guess I'll sit down on this couch.
Mitch got some new couches. Well, looks comfy. Ponk.
So Shizuko and Hirokama, they plotted together to murder Chiyoko using the classic ninja trick.
I loved seeing this.
Where you hide in the rafters, lower a string over the victim's mouth. So if you remember, when Chiyoko was in the bed with Hirosuke earlier and she just suddenly died as though she was poisoned, this is how they poisoned her. They lowered a string down from the rafters while she was sleeping with poison on the tip of it, and it dripped down into her mouth.
Were they trying to kill her? They were trying to kill Hirosuke, but then they kind of moved over in bed, like they rolled over in bed, and they killed her by accident.
Oh.
See, I was wondering because...
Which is fucking weird because Hirosuke was supposed to come there and...
Yeah.
That doesn't even work with the plan.
Yeah. They thought, well, they thought he was Genzaburo. Maybe they wanted to kill Genzaburo for some reason. Yeah.
Good God.
They fucked up. Chiyoko died.
Yeah.
I wonder if M. Night Shyamalan's seen this movie. I really would love to see his reaction to it.
The more we talk about it, I do think Charlie Day or somebody has seen this movie.
Oh, yeah. Well, this movie definitely has just soap opera energy in terms of the random plot twists and, oh, it's actually your long-lost sister, and, oh.
So, Jigoro, our main bad guy, he's none too pleased that his steward Hirokama and Shizuko, the mistress, plotted against the Komoda family, and he's got a revolver pulled on them. Hirokama, you bastard! You know what happens when you double-cross me? I will deform both of you as I see fit.
I love that he just starts using deform as his like go-to.
Yeah.
You know I'm capable of
That's
it.
a verb.
I have deformed before, and I will deform again.
Yeah. So then Hirakawa, the brave soul that he is, he just tries to blame everything on Shizuko. He goes behind her and he's like, it was her. It was all her. It was her. It was her idea. He's
Shoot
hiding
her.
behind a woman.
I
Shoot her.
worked hard to send women to the island. You gotta kill her. I'll send more women here.
Shoot her.
It
So
was
then-
the Warriors.
Jigoro backs away with his gun until they both fall in the water of the caverns, and he's like, yes, the water will end your life. Drink plenty of it. And
Nothing can
all of
rain-
this is while the detective is watching, and he's just dispassionately watching this nonsense
Takes
happen.
care of that problem.
I knew this would happen. I solved the mystery. I knew this was exactly how it was going to happen.
One less pervert in the world.
Then Jigoro turns his attention to Hirosuke, pointing the gun at him. This time you have to obey me. I want you to build a statue of a horse-headed god to protect this island. It will have 3 heads and 11 tails. It is to be crowned with a living horse's head. It has been my dream for 30 years. Use living human flesh to build it. There will be no greater challenge for a medical graduate.
I love that, like, this is what... my head can't...
30 years.
This is what doctors do. You're a this is what any doctor would want to do, right? You want to be challenged, don't you?
It's the ultimate medical
Build me this
experiment.
horse head statue with living human flesh.
Nothing in this...
Forget about those sick children.
Like-
Forget about being an orthopedic surgeon.
You want to cure a disease? Why don't you push science? See how
We're
far
men
you can
of
push
science.
science. Yeah, nothing in this movie and nothing in my life prepared me for this plot twist. There's no way you could have predicted that this was Jogoro's goal to create a horseman.
I haven't seen
I
any
predicted
mention of a horse.
horseman with 10 tails, so I was way off.
I
Yeah.
phoned my bookie and I gave him the parlay.
Yeah.
3-headed horse statue, living horse head, 11 tails, dead human flesh. I'm fucking broke.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna cut my thumbs off. I'm gonna lose my house.
You're done.
Ugh.
Back to the pachinko.
Then this is when what's the detective's name? What's this
Detective
fucking guy who's Kogoro?
It's weird because you've got Jogoro, is the
Jogoro
head
and
of the
Kogoro.
family, and then Kogoro's the detective. So Jogoro, it's kind of like a
Say
Uma
detective.
Oprah.
Kogoro, who's been here all along. This is where the greatest reveal is like, by the way, I have the bullets for your gun. I stole the bullets from your gun.
You've been menacing everyone.
After he was pointing that gun at people and made them drown and die.
Yeah.
He's like, there's no bullets in your gun.
Joke's on you again.
I'm Detective Exposition.
Yeah. You thought this plan was... It's actually pretty satisfying, because Jogoro's plan has been... He's like so many leaps of logic and everything, but Kogoro's got his number.
It all came down to whether he had bullets in his gun or not.
Yeah, that was the hinge.
So,
and it was never set up, listeners.
at all. So yes,
We never saw him sneaking in
didn't
to
know.
Jogoro's room and
He was-
taking the bullets from his gun.
Yeah.
This is just left field craziness.
He was on the other side of the cave the entire time we've seen him, which I guess we saw him way back when he was this random servant in the house. But
Collecting some kindling.
Is he a magician's son?
Maybe.
Which apparently gives you magical powers.
Ta-da!
maybe.
Makes you more powerful than a magician.
It's the only explanation. Maybe he's related to all these freaks.
Everybody's
somehow.
related. Everybody's fucking everybody. So Jogoro turns tail. He runs. He's heading out of the cave. Everybody gives chase. They free Tiko. Is that her name?
Toki.
Toki. They free Toki.
Toki, who was Jogoro's wife.
And for those of you who aren't keeping track,
Yeah.
It's hard to keep track with these names,
She's
but
the
we want you
chained
to
up
be able to grasp the story.
it's hard to keep track of what's going on in this movie too.
Yes, exactly. And Japanese names don't help.
No.
Not that they're particularly difficult, but
when there's a lot of them, and they're as close as Kogoro, Jogoro, and there's twins and identical, and it's complicated.
So they lead Toki out of the cave. Hirosuke, our hero, and Hideko, his sister, who was the Siamese twin, who he fucked.
Somehow during this time, they found the time to draft a letter. In between learning that they're related,
Somehow they found time to write a letter. Yeah,
They give Toki
they had
the
quill.
letter.
They had paper.
Yeah, they're like, they walk off. They're like, Toki, stay here read this letter in a bit.
Give this letter to Jogoro. Give this letter to her father.
Yeah.
And bye.
See you later.
So now it's full on Kogoro. He's cornered Jogoro and
Detective Kogoro, yeah.
Detective Kogoro. He's cornered Jogoro. And here we find out he's got the ultimate trump card. The entire island is riddled with explosives and fireworks.
He's got a big
There's
lever.
fireworks mortars that people in this movie know about and they know where they are.
Yeah.
And he's going to blow the whole place to Kingdom Come.
Yeah.
And Kogoro's like, was it worth it? Was it worth doing all the bad deeds you did? Doing that to your wife. She still loved you.
Yeah. Was it worth creating these malformed men, stitching animal parts onto them?
Yeah.
I'd say so.
I think so too.
Yeah.
Are you going to get in the way of science? Are you going to get in the way of science?
I would never. No.
Toki happens upon them on the beach and delivers Hirosuke's letter to the detective. Even though we are siblings, we cannot part. It is a forbidden love, but our love burns even brighter. We want it to end in a beautiful war, like a quick burst of fireworks in the sunset. We will embrace atop a fireworks mortar. We will scatter magnificently across the great sky.
They're like Mickey and Mallory. Mm-hmm. Beautiful. Toki and Jogoro, impossibly, Toki admits she was wrong all the time. She should never have treated Jogoro like a freak, and it was her fault that Jogoro went crazy and malformed and deformed everybody, and they smooch, and it doesn't make sense. Jogoro just dies now.
There's no reason. I don't know why Jogoro dies, and I don't know why Toki reconciles with him. There's no reason for that. In a movie with 10,000 lines of exposition, you couldn't give me the two most important character beats.
It's pretty crucial, but yeah, I don't know. And again, I don't know if maybe there was a like a missing footage where Jogoro shot himself or something, because he dies here for no reason as far as I can determine.
Yeah.
He just dies.
He just
I was
dies of
completely
anguish.
lost.
Yeah, he's
A broken
heartbreak.
heart, yeah.
That'll do it. And yeah, they go on top of the fireworks mortar, and you get the cheesiest and most awesome effect ever, where there's
This
just
is the best.
all
This is
these
the best
I love
ending
it.
of any movie ever.
mannequin parts flying around. They explode. You just get this like firework display going off, and then this like
Hirosuke and Hideko's body parts are
Yeah.
freeze framed in the sky, and they're just like got a spine over here, you got a skull over here, maybe there's a femur off in the distance.
The hands
Both
are
movies
holding.
end with freeze-framed body parts flying in the sky.
Yeah.
Kind of weird,
wow.
kind of unusual.
That is-
There we go.
That's
why.
the connected. That's why
why.
we're doing this.
High and low.
So many movies have been made that end in body parts that freeze framed on the sky.
I'm pretty sure these are the only two.
And we found him.
Yeah. And as the fireworks are going off, you just hear this screaming of
Mother!
Mother!
Beautiful. The
But
end.
you see their fucking
Yeah, they're-
dumb-looking decapitated heads. You see their hands, their arms
Oh, that's so
interlocked
nice.
still, but they're severed.
That's romantic.
Flying through the air.
Yeah, a decapitated head shouldn't be able to yell mother, but it does in this scene.
More movies need to end like this. I
Just-
swear to God.
Every
Just
movie.
end it.
Citizen Kane, Godfather, end them all.
Have them all blowing up together with their body parts.
Imagine
screaming.
if Michael Corleone at the end of Godfather, instead of doing like the machine gun massacre on the other mafia bosses, he just blew them up with fireworks and sent their mannequin parts everywhere.
I'm surprised more American movies don't end this way. They love fireworks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Or
The
Chinese.
end. That was the horrors of malformed men.
Wow.
Amazing.
I got to admit, for the first half of the movie, I was like, this is false advertising.
Where's the mouth?
Where's the horrors? Where's the malformed men? And as
Seeing a
soon as
lot
you get
of
to the
women.
island,
It's
whoa,
very much
look
so.
out.
Non-stop.
Wow.
Wow, so that was the horrors of malformed men.
Not
We
bad.
did it. It's Japanuary. We talked about
Yeah.
2 Japanese movies.
Wow, and we all learned a little something from a foreign culture, and I think we're a little wiser as a result. You know, we're a little more cultured. I think we're worldly now.
Well, that was horrors of malformed men. We talked about a couple Japanese movies on High and Low here. Mitch, you brought us into this whole thing. Which one did you prefer?
This is, I mean, it has to be Vengeance is Mine, just because that's like a slam dunk, really effective gut punch movie. It really works. If we had compared Horrors of Malformed Men with almost any other movie, it would be hard not to pick it, just because it's so audacious and insane. But Vengeance is Mine. There's a reason it won the 1979 Best Picture at the Japanese Academy Awards. Shohei Imamura is really a great pioneer in the Japanese New Wave, and we didn't really talk about Ken Ogata. He plays an Akizo in Vengeance is Mine, and a lot of that movie hinges on his performance.
Terrific.
And he
Terrific
pulls it
job.
off. Like he just got that great chip on his shoulder energy. I gotta give it to Vengeance is Mine.
Vengeance is Mine. Luke, which one tickled your fancy?
That was an uncharacteristically brief
No kidding.
sum up.
Yeah, I just couldn't. I almost thought about waffling for a minute.
We
there,
made him
but-
go first this time.
I wasn't fucking ready. I mean, okay. Vengeance in my vengeance in mine.
You might have been, man.
a little bit of vengeance.
Vengeance is Mine is one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. And you talked about Ken Ogata in your sum up, and it reminded me that I didn't talk about the other actors that I admired in that movie.
Yeah.
And he was great, of course, but the supporting cast in that fucking movie
Yeah.
were amazing. Mitsuo Baisho, I'm butchering all their names, who played Kazuko, his wife, especially,
Oh, yeah.
and Rentaro Mikuni, Shizuo,
Yeah.
his dad.
His put upon family.
Just incredible performances.
Yeah.
Like, that movie had a real ensemble cast, and everybody was fucking bringing their A game.
Yeah.
That
A-list.
is such a phenomenal movie. I really, really loved it. Yeah. A big time, instant 5-star rating from me. That's a classic movie as far as I'm concerned. Horrors of Malformed Men, I loved it a lot. I had a lot of fun with it.
Impossible not to be entertained.
And I'm totally with you on it. On like almost any other high and low episode, that would be the easy winner.
Yeah.
But Vengeance is Mine. That's something I really loved, really connected with. That's a solid classic. Definitely check that out, listeners. Vonn?
Oh, wow. I'm going to be the voice of
Dissent.
the voice of dissent here.
Well.
I got to go Horrors of Malformed Men. Vengeance is Mine, quote unquote, better movie. Sure, it's not riddled with plot holes, and it doesn't need somebody to come in and explain everything that happened and everything they're gonna do.
That's true.
But if I'm being honest, there were times while I was watching it, as much as I enjoyed it, I was kind of pulled out of it, dragged a little bit for me. Just didn't really... I was checking my watch more than I wanted to, as much as I liked it. Horrors of Malformed Men, it's short, it's punchy, it's chockable. It might be like the most what the fuck movie we've covered here. It's just so filled with bizarre imagery, bizarre things, bizarre storytelling choices, and all of that. It was fun. If I was gonna recommend a movie for somebody to see, like if I'm just gonna pull somebody off of the street and yell in their face about movies they need to watch, it's gonna be Horrors of Malformed Men. 10 times out of 10.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a crisp, clean 90 minutes.
Sure.
Gets in, gets out, and not a.
No, I'd recommend both of them.
Yeah.
100%.
I had a blast watching Horrors of Malformed Men, so that's where I'm going with that one.
It's a must see.
Yeah. 2 excellent motion pictures. Thank you very much, Mitch.
Wow.
Well done.
For giving us
And
a surprisingly thematically consistent
Who
dip
knew?
into Japanuary.
Yeah.
and thank you, Japan, for making such films. Despite a good taste, logic, reason, thank you for making
Thank you, India. Thank you,
Yeah.
Japan.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Japan.
Luke, where are we going next time?
We're going to do a little trip down Captain America town. I heard there's a new Captain America movie coming out, so I thought maybe we should talk about Captain America, who's one of my favorite superheroes.
Hard not to like him.
Yeah, maybe you guys like him, maybe you don't. Maybe fuck you. I don't care. We're going down a superhero thing. We're selling out officially.
We're going into the MCU.
That's right. Don't you try to stop us, neither.
This will be our first MCU treat. So for our high, we're going to cover one of my favorite MCU movies, Captain America: The First Avenger from 2011. And for our low, we're going to cover Captain America from 1990, directed by Albert Pyun.
Yeah.
Albert Pyun,
Famously
Pyun master.
Pyun.
one of like the
Pyun.
Ed Woods
Yeah.
of the 90s and 80s.
I'm surprised it's taken us this long
Yeah.
to get to an Albert Pyun movie, so I'm excited.
I'm excited. I haven't seen his movie. Yeah.
I haven't seen it in ages.
Yeah, I watched this as a lad on the VHS shelf at Blockbuster. There it was, Captain America. It disturbed me a little bit, making the Red Skull.
Red Skull's scary.
Yeah, he's a scary guy.
Oh, wow. I can't wait.
Well, until next time when we go to Captain America Town, thank you for listening to High and Low. If this is something that you've enjoyed, why don't you recommend it to a friend? You know a friend. You have a friend, don't you? Mm-hmm. No? I'm not surprised.
Do you have any malformed friends?
Probably.
Hey, you know what? Go to an asylum near you. Go to the big cell with the 50 naked women and just start talking about the High and Low podcast.
Do you have any conjoined twins who may be twins with other twins, but also you're fucking them and they're your sister?
Siamese brothers from another mother.
Yeah, like have you ever found yourself laying in bed next to somebody and then they wake up with like a sewing thread down their throat and it's filled with poison?
You might be a ninja.
You might want to listen to the podcast. Do you ever find yourself covered in white plaster? I don't know.
Or other.
So why don't you take this podcast down to your local swimming group where you're all going to paint yourself in silver and gold paint and go swimming in the oasis ponds.
Yeah.
And before you do like some sort of naked fish dance,
Before, during, or after.
put this on at your next fish dance feast.
Good call.
We love fish dances here.
Yeah.
Don't we, folks?
Magic fish dance.
Well, until next time, thank you for listening to High and Low. I'm Vaughn.
I'm Mitchell.
I'm Luke.
Smell you later.
Bye.